Bipartisan Aviation Safety Agreement. Cantwell Cruz Bipartisan Aviation Safety Agreement requires full implementation of ADS-B technology, delivers aviation safety results for families. It addresses several safety issues identified by the National Transportation Safety Board's investigation in the midair collision near Reagan National Airport that took 67 lives on January 29th. Also closes the ADS-B out loophole, strengthens the FAA Department of Defense coordination, requires comprehensive safety reviews of all aircraft operations in the DCA airspace, as well as all major and mid-size airports across the country. Its safety improvements reach in aviation as quickly as possible. Agreed upon language delivers real aviation safety improvements by making sure the ADS-B in and out requirements are truly implemented after 17 years of delay. With no FAA loopholes. This agreement closes DoD loopholes immediately, mandates ADS-B in for the first time, locking in a hard deadline so the FAA can't continue delaying implementation. What happened at DCA on January 29th was a tragedy, said Senator Cruz. 67 lives were lost. Their families had to endure an unfathomable amount of grief. We owe it to them and every traveling American to make sure another accident never happens again. The ROTOR Act makes common sense safety improvements that are long overdue. I'm thankful to Senator Cantwell for her willingness to work with me on passing critical piece of legislation to protect American skies. And then there's a list of what it does. So it closes the ADS-B out loopholes and ensures they stay closed. The agreement ends many DoD sensitive government mission ADS-B out transmission exemptions that allowed military and other government aircraft to fly near DCA and other busy airports without transmitting their location. Training flights, proficiency flights, and flights of federal officials below cabinet rank will no longer qualify for the exemption. Sure, these loopholes remain closed. The bill requires a government accountability office review comparing pre and post perform of the exemptions, annual DOT Inspector General compliance audits, quarterly reporting, etc. Special 14-day notification if agencies use exemptions. Requires ADS-B in equipment to boost safety in the air and on the ground. Includes Senator Cantwell's SOSA provision mandating a clear 2031 deadline for aircraft operators to equip with ADS-B in technology. All commercial, passenger cargo business, military and general aviation operators who are already required by the FAA to be equipped with ADS-B out must also be equipped with ADS-B in by December 31st, 2031. Delivers key benefits for pilots that increase situational awareness, provide traffic advisors alerting for operations. Requires comprehensive safety reviews of DCA and all major mid-size airports. Key component of SOSA. The agreement requires a comprehensive safety review of DCA airspace to assess how civil and military helicopter, drone, and emergency first responder flights impact commercial operations to better prevent future incidents. Also sets new level of coordination and information sharing between FAA and DoD. Each military service with an aviation component to establish a memorandum of understanding with the FAA to share appropriate aviation safety information, enhance coordination to prevent future incidents. Demands Army accountability and audit. Legislates mandates an Army Inspector General audit evaluating coordination with the FAA, pilot training standards, ADS-B usage compliant, helicopter maintenance protocols, the Army's review of loss of separation events in the National Capital Region. Must be transmitted to Congress and publicly released within 14 days of completion. Advances next generation collision avoidance technology, ACAS-X. Foundation for advancing deployment of next generation collision avoidance technology known as ACAS-X. Its variants can deliver strong improvements for aviation safety. Technology was tested with more versatile applications to helicopter operations. This technology provides better traffic conflict resolution alerts to pilots and can better prevent mid-air helicopter collisions in lower altitudes where existing collision avoidance technology does not activate. Whew, and that is it. Gonky, your thoughts?
I mean, it's good, right? It's good. It's a step in the right direction as far as safety is concerned, and obviously driven by the midair that we had there earlier this year. Kind of talked about it before, though. I mean, would ADS-B have prevented that crash? I don't know. Debatable. I think it's, I don't know if amusing is the right word, but I think it's remarkable how quickly they got this through, since it's right there close to DC, because all the
saying if it was New Orleans on the Mississippi River, no one
would care, right? Politicians need this, man. They want to feel safe getting in and out of DC there. But no, it's a step in the right direction. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, it's nice to have the situational awareness, but that system has its limitations. So, we still need to, as pilots, we still need to be vigilant as the air traffic controllers as well, right? They still need to be cognizant of where everybody's at. But it's a nice tool to help build and improve situational awareness of basically everyone involved. What do you think?
There's like two things on here that actually make sense to me. Scroll up a little bit, Doug. So, no, just the agreement. Scroll down. just the points of the agreement. All right. ADSB had nothing to do with the DCA mishap. Whether there was in or out, wouldn't have mattered. Didn't change anything. It is something that people have glommed onto, and they want to find the boogeyman. But whether ADSB worked or not, because they had more than likely the ADSB in on their iPads, because they were flying with iPads and Stratus Bucks and stuff. We have flown with those things. I don't think that would have changed anything. What I do agree with is the comprehensive safety reviews of DCA in all major mid-size airports. If you have low-level routes flying across final at an altitude above zero with aircraft landing, that's a problem. Unless you have a like a red light, green light, where you can stop people and hold them at Haynes Point or the bridge, which is what they used to do, according to the guy I interviewed, it does not work. The fact that they were ever in the same piece of sky is what caused that. The fact that they were flying across and relying on visual separation with active lines of aircraft doing circling approaches and on final at night is what caused that mishap. ADSB wouldn't change that. That's a failure of the system. That's a failure of how it's set up. New level coordination sharing between FAA and DoD, that was part of the hearings that came out, the NTSB hearings. And that is absolutely valid. The fact that nobody knew that they'd had all these near mid-airs over the last 5 years and more is a foul. The fact that the Army had no idea, the fact that everybody had their little pockets of information and nobody was sharing stuff. So 100% that needs to be addressed. That is a thing. Demands Army accountability and audit, whatever. I mean, yeah, sure. But closes the ADSB out loophole. I remember when we got ADSB out in the T-38, because they had to spend a whole bunch of money on these old ass airplanes to put a new Mode-S transponder so that we would be compliant by the deadline. It helped us because it actually gave us poor man's data link with the iPads, but it was a cost. And when you start talking about fighters where, everything has to be run through testing and evaluation and stuff like that, it's not cheap and it's not fast. Having ADSB out could be a security concern for certain aircraft, and we may not want to broadcast, because here's the problem, and I see this all the time on these open source intel stuff. They are broadcasting everything we're doing. If you are squawking with an ADSB track, all they do, they're flight aware watchers, and the B1s that are going down to Venezuela, or when we did the Operation Midnight Hammer, that actually worked in our favor because they did the feint. They sent bunch of B2s one way and then went the other direction and dropped warheads on foreheads. So there's a security aspect to that for military aircraft. It would not have changed this incident. This incident was terrible. I understand the grieving of the families and the passengers and everybody that was affected by this. It's horrible that they had to experience this, but the root cause goes back to the structure and the fact that we're shoving so much air traffic into one small area so that the senators and the congressmen can have their airport right next to where they are. You don't have this problem at Dulles, even though there's the same routes that go across. Now, sometimes there are potential problems anytime you're mixing various types of aircraft. We saw it at Eglin. When you mix airliners and fighters and helicopters and whatever, you see that. And air traffic controllers have to earn their money like that. But when you design to fail, you have failures, and no amount of technology is going to fix that. I do think it's good to have ADSB in general, but what I am thinking about is the poor general aviation owner that will now have to go get ADSB piped in to his steam panel aircraft that he was once exempt from, just to appease some senators who think this might help, and it's not. The best see and avoid is your Mark 1 eyeballs looking outside. You're never going to beat that, because when you have a traffic thing, the first thing you should be doing is looking outside, and everybody wants to look inside at all the technology. It's all the drill cup for a reason, right, Gonky? When you radar lock somebody inside of 5 miles, where should your eyes be inside of 5 miles when you got a radar lock? Outside. That's what we know as people that have done this for a living at high speed. Yeah. So, I don't know. I hate knee-jerk legislation, and that's what this feels like. This feels like we got to do something, and we're just like trying to.
Well, that's why that's what they did. They've done something. Now put that bad boy to bed, and
yeah.
Like we said in the past, dude, ADSB, would have prevented this crash. Debatable, but I agree with you. No. So I mean,
the technology is good. They talk about the the ACAS X or whatever their new TCAS stuff, because in this case, TCAS is based off of transponders, not ADS-B. So if both aircraft had TCAS, it still wouldn't have worked, because one of them was in the landing environment and doing, and ignoring it. He got the traffic, but they ignored it. So ADS-B doesn't give you a traffic. Now, if they do this advanced thing, maybe, but then what's going to happen? You're going to have traffic, go around. We have to go to the root cause. And the root cause to me is the setup of this route. It was a ticking time bomb, and eventually it caught up with everybody, and it's awful. It's terrible. I feel for the families of every single person that was involved, including the Army side, because everybody wants to blame the two pilots for what happened, but there was a lot of contributing factors in what happened here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, dude, I don't know. Like you said, that accident was tragic. And I mean, I don't know, dude, those guys, like both pilots in that airliner in that environment. I mean, Adsby, no way. They were preparing to land. Like they were literally seconds from landing.
Yeah. Now, the only thing that would have prevented this would have been a go around with a traffic point out. And then that would have been a full, toga.
Yeah.
And the helicopter guys and girl, I mean, they screwed up, right? They requested visual separation on something that they didn't have visual separation of. They let themselves fall into that trap, whether it was complacency or what. But backing it up even further, we should never have accepted that level of risk. You should never put two aircraft within the flight path of each other and say, well, you know what? At worst case, it's 100 feet.
Right.
Like, no.
Right.
No.
I think it's 88 feet. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So I hate when we legislate by knee-jerk. That's all. Yeah. This doesn't seem well thought out.
Are you surprised?
Of course not. Of course not.
Dude.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You're starting to use ADS-B data to charge GA pilots landing fees, enforcement actions, other things the system was not intended for.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Big brother. Ah.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. That's how you kill off
GA. You kill off general aviation.
Yeah. That's how you kill off grassroots GA. Exactly.
Well, I think of the R-22 I flew. Right, the panel, none of the panel stuff, like the airspeed indicator barely worked. Where are you going to put an ADS-B? You have to have a display. Like what good is ADS-B in if you have nothing to display? What is it? You have to have some kind of moving map or something, a little scope. Something's got to be there to display it. Otherwise, what is ADS-B in?
I didn't even think about the GA aspect of it, to be honest. Yeah, that's terrible.
Dude,
100%. There's going to be a whole swath of GA airplanes, right or wrong, that are just not going to comply.
No. Previously, though, even ADS-B out, they had carve outs for it, and they're closing this now. But GA had carve outs. You couldn't fly in certain airspaces, and you as long as you avoided certain areas. But that's going away.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna cost money. Now, out is easy because a lot of them have changed out. Like the helicopter I flew, the strobe was an ADS-B out and a strobe. It's like that's where they put the transmitter. But like these steam gauge airplanes, what do you get? Warbirds.
Oh yeah.
Right. Where do you put ADS-B in a T-38A?
Yeah.
You don't.
Or even like a exactly.
Or an airliner. Dude, the retrofit and the cost of the software, because Boeing and Airbus, they're going to charge millions of dollars. Oh yes, you want this?
Yeah. There's only one way to integrate this, and it's kind of pricey.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You already have TCAS, but that's a different system.
Yeah.
We're going to have this other one, and it's going to be demonstrated by a triangle instead of the chevron, and now all of a sudden that's another $2 million in aircraft. So,
yeah, dude.
Maybe I'm just
no. This is experience, and yeah, dude, this is deep intel on the ramifications of.
Dude. I mean, I think of the Makos, with the Block 30, and I get it. You know, you've got, if you've got a situational awareness display, it's obviously, but it's still equipment and cost. It's not just bam, it works. People are using iPads. Like you're taking that, and now you're going to have some kind of system, and it's probably going to have to be STC certified, which is going to be like,
oh yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah.